everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here with Mark Rubi from Arizona, is it?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Welcome. So you can tell everyone where we are right now and how we met.
Beautiful Krabi, Thailand. We met, actually I met Johnny online, even though he didn't know who I was, but I was listening to his podcasts and they've been very inspirational.
Oh, very cool. And where are we sitting right now as we're doing this?
We're sitting overlooking some beautiful palm trees and a mountain, and pretty close, not too far from the beach.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we are at the Dropshipping Retreat 2015, and Krabi is a beautiful place. Last couple of days, we've been learning stuff during the day and then just hanging out and doing beach stuff in the afternoons. So the reason why I wanted to have Mark on the podcast today is he's been a listener to the podcast, and he's actually done the things I've recommended, and he's becoming very successful with it now. And I think to me it's just a cool story because there's so many people who listen and don't take action. So whenever people do, I'm really excited about that. How did you find the podcast in the first place?
My wife and I, we had lived in Chiang Mai a couple of years ago, and we had sold off everything. So we were one of those people that really had committed. We wanted to live here in Thailand, and we really liked it here. And then we ended up having to go back for some family issues. And I would been wanting to return for quite a long time. I came across your podcast online on TuneIn, and and from that point on, I was like, this is awesome. I really liked your interviewing style, and I liked your guests, and just spoke to me from the heart.
That's cool. Did you ever think that you were going to be one of the guests?
Never in a million years.
And here you are.
Yep.
In Krabi, Thailand. So the dropshipping retreat, what are your thoughts so far?
Awesome. Great knowledge, a lot to absorb, but I think the people here have been just, tremendous, and I've learned a lot. And of course, to meet you, Johnny, that's the best part.
I appreciate that. So the talks. So let's kind of run through some of the actual lessons that we've learned. The first one, Anton talked about lead value optimization. What did you think of it, and did you take anything away from it?
Yes, I did. I don't know that I can formulate all my thoughts right away as far as what I took away from it, but from where I'm starting out, I'm still, I guess, a newbie in this, but I can see the value in implementing these things. Understanding the concepts and then going through and implementing them is the key. And so I'll have to review again and go through them, but I think there's a lot of value there and how to do that.
I think it's cool that all the videos are going to be up in the members area of Anton's course. So, when people are ready for it, they can go back and watch it again. And all the people who couldn't make it out here, I think we have 100 people here, which is great, but there's 1,000 members of the course. They either have full-time jobs or they have kids or other commitments or they just couldn't make it out this year. So they can watch it at home, which I think is nice. For me personally, what I took out of that was I've always been very big on optimizing conversion rates. So for all my stores, I try to get as many of those customers who click my ads or visit my store to buy. And I'm pretty good at that. I have a course on it called Optimize Like a Boss. But I never really thought of optimizing the lead in other ways. So what Anton said was, he said, well, if you think about the people who are spending a lot of money on advertising and that product maybe doesn't even make that whole amount back, are they losing money? Are they just stupid? Or are they cross-selling? Are they considering the lifetime value of the customer? So that really opened my mind, not necessarily just for my dropshipping stores, but for all my businesses, anything I get in the future.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of value to that if you can look at a customer not as a one-time hit, but as a continual part of your business where you can market other products to them, and you can really, it's possible you could be selling them 2, 3, 4 products down the line.
Yeah, or different, completely different products that kind of have to do with it.
Absolutely.
So if you guys are curious what the noise is in the background, they are like jungle bugs. There's birds, there's bugs. It looks like, if you could see the view from where we are, it looks like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
That's awesome.
So my talk, the outsourcing customer service, what did you take away from that?
Well, if you're a solopreneur and you're trying to do a dropshipping store, optimizing your time and your efficiency by outsourcing, your customer service and anything that you can do or things that you don't want to do or not good at is, I think, key to maximizing your success.
Yeah. So for those who obviously weren't here or aren't part of the course yet, I talked about how I was kind of lucky that I started my store while in Chiang Mai, so I was forced from day one to think about customer service from living, while traveling. I think the people who started the stores while being in the U.S., they got comfortable knowing that they could just answer the phone themselves, they could answer the emails themselves. But because of the time zone difference, it forced me right away to think about that. Because in the beginning, I didn't mind hustling. I didn't mind waking up at 2 in the morning to answer a call because I know it's a sale and I knew I needed to do that. But I knew I couldn't do that long term. So from day one, I planned everything out, knowing, okay, one day I'm going to be able to hire a VA, or one day I'm going to be able to hire a customer service person. And it's pretty cool because I showed my numbers of my total sales from one of my stores. And I think right now it was at about $600,000. So to build a $500,000 business from Chiang Mai and outsourcing all of it is to me, it's pretty cool.
It's amazing, actually. It's amazing. And a lot of credit to you for figuring these things out and to having grown as a person to not only with your business, but grown as a person to understand how you can make changes and continue to scale up your businesses.
I appreciate that. And one thing I really took away from Adam's talk today, I know we're skipping a couple, but he mentioned what actually is passion. Was it Adam? It might have been someone else. But basically the takeaway from it was your passion is your pain tolerance on how much you can endure before you see the results of what you want to do. Actually, maybe it was Christopher when he was talking about business confidence. It was someone's talks. Sorry if I mixed you guys all up. There's a lot of talks this weekend. But I never really thought of passion that way. I always thought about passion as something that you just enjoy doing. Like, what do you like? But if we enjoy doing something and it comes easy and there's no challenges, I guess you don't really need, to me it's not even really just passion. It's like something fun to do, But if you are able to endure the pain that comes before you even get to that end goal, before you get to the reward of it, then to me, I guess that, that really does define passion in a different way.
Absolutely. Because life is not a straight line. It's not always an easy journey. And being your own, owning your own business isn't going to be that way. So it's not how many times that you get knocked down. It's how many times you will yourself to get back up and you overcome obstacles in your life, your personal life and your business.
I like it. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to continue indoors so these bugs stop bothering us. Give us a second. All right. So we are back, and now we're inside with some air conditioning. How does it feel?
Feels a little bit cooler.
I think it's always a nice idea, in theory, to record like by the poolside or on a beach or sitting on a balcony. But in reality, sometimes it's easier just to be like in an actual office or even in a hotel room.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So where do we leave off? So the other talks that we missed, there's one on Facebook marketing. There's one on business confidence coaching. What are the other ones? Building a membership site.
Kim's talk on Facebook.
Yep.
Marketing was awesome.
And there was also what was it? There was one on affiliate marketing, and there was one on Amazon FBA. And I think what's really cool about being in this course is Anton doesn't just try to keep you focused on just dropshipping. He's like, look, I'm teaching you guys a model that works, and then we'll give you the capital, the business skills, and confidence to do other models. And these other things don't even seem related to someone who's not in it, but I think to like a member of the course, especially if you have a store that's up and running, you kind of see like, okay, well, I can kind of see this as the next step. Like, he doesn't need to have a whole module on importing and exporting, but he does because he knows that's the next step.
Yeah, definitely. And there is a lot of overlap between all of these different areas. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'm really thankful to have gotten involved with this and to have met all of the people here and have all the opportunities presented in a way that is useful, that you can start to execute on it. So I think it's really awesome.
So I would imagine that as someone starting out, that just meeting people in person who have done this and are successful and have profitable stores, especially all the people here that are living full time, making full time income off the stores. Does that give you a lot of confidence to just know that the system works, or how do you feel about that?
I definitely feel like it does, because there's so much, in the U.S. there's so much advertising. Everybody's trying to have the loudest bullhorn and to sell everything, and to actually meet the people that are doing it, and you find out there's regular guys, regular people, guys and gals, and they're, you can see it in your own, for yourself in your own eyes is pretty powerful.
I think what's cool is there's a lot of international people. So I'm here. So my last episode was with an Australian couple who are doing well, and I almost thought like maybe there weren't that many Australians who have stores that are doing well, but I'm pretty sure every single Australian person I met at the retreat, they're like, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we're making sales, we're profitable, and I would ask them the questions like, oh, was it hard to get suppliers, or was it hard because you're Australian? And all of them said, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
which is completely opposite of what you hear online from people that don't have stores or aren't part of the course.
Yeah. All the guys from Australia that I've sat and talked to, or even the guys from the UK, they were all said, "Oh, it's easy. Yeah, I'm doing it." And that's for a person from the US. That's great, because that's even more validation that this isn't just like location specific that you can do well. You could do well anywhere in the world with this.
Yeah, like anywhere that people buy stuff online, which is growing. I'm sure it's a lot harder in places like I don't know, Zimbabwe or Middle East or somewhere, where people don't buy stuff online anyways. But in like big Western countries like in Germany, Australia, England, even smaller westernized countries like Holland or Sweden, like those people are doing really well, and they're following the same course.
Unbelievable. I mean, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you have ever thought 3 years ago that you would be meeting people from all over the world that were doing at a same business model, that thought the same way, they're wanting to follow the same path?
So actually in the beginning, I didn't have those doubts because nobody fed it to me. So I just assumed it would work everywhere. And it wasn't until, I think it was about a year ago, where I started hearing a lot online, usually from forums or different websites, where people were like, no, that doesn't work in Australia, or it doesn't work in here, it doesn't work there. And then I almost started kind of believing their negativity. And it wasn't until I met people in person, especially this weekend, where I'm like, you know what, F those guys. Like, they're, not only are they ruining it for themselves, because that is their excuse on why it doesn't work, so they can feel better about their own lives, about not trying even in the first place. But now what they're doing is they're ruining other people's chances, because people that did want to try, now they're scared to try because they heard from some guy on Reddit or some guy on a forum that like, oh, it doesn't work in Australia. And thank goodness for for these live events where you can meet people, because 100% of those people who are doing well, they don't post online. Like,
Yeah.
They're not the ones on Reddit, they're not the ones on different forums. Unfortunately, they don't even really post on our member forums that much because they're busy running their store.
Right.
But in person, it seems like everyone's super open and super helpful. Like, what are your impressions on that?
Absolutely. I think everybody's been very super open, and sharing. Some people have shared their niches with me, and I think that's great. I'm not one that would jump in on somebody else's niche. I have my own ideas and what I want to do, but I think anybody from any walk of life is gonna fit in here, because this is like the United Nations.
Oh, it really is weird. We have like families here with babies. We have people from all different countries.
Yeah.
Different ages. I mean, the youngest people are like 19 or 20, and then what do you think the oldest people are?
Just from guessing, maybe 60s.
Wow, really? Okay, yeah. I see some people that thought at least 50, but yeah, maybe 60. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm 48, so I'm a little different. I had a cellular phone business that I did for a number of years in the mid 2000s. So, and I've been in sales and marketing, most of my life. So I feel like I'm comfortable with that. But it's nice to meet other people, and so everybody has the same fears. That they're not going to be able to do it, or they won't understand enough, or maybe you have to be, a 20-year-old whiz kid, to do this, but it's not like that at all. They just have to meet the right people and get the confidence and then the skills in order to execute.
I do, think that depending on the generation you grew up with and depending on how comfortable you are doing other things online, there is a learning curve. So for the people that are, in their 50s or 60s, it takes longer. They have to learn how to resize an image. They have to, and that might take them half a day. They have to, but the information is out there. You can Google it. You can watch a tutorial. Versus someone who's in their 20s or 30s, they might just, to them that's a no-brainer. Like, yeah, I resize photos all the time. But it's still possible, I think.
Yeah, anything is possible if your mind is open to it and you realize that you might have to humble yourself a little bit and ask questions and ask other people for help. But I think in this group here, and I think even online, everybody's more than willing to be helpful and to reach out to one another. So I think it's great.
What was really funny to me is in the afternoons we do the group activities, and on the first day we all took a boat to Raleigh Beach. There's a beach called Tonsai, which is a beautiful bay that's famous for rock climbing. It's like a rock climbing mecca, and everybody there is like, I would say either families or a lot of people like in their 20s, laying on the beach, tanning, rock climbing, and they see our group and they look at us like, who are these people? Because we're all from different nationalities, different ages, you just can't, because sometimes you have like the Chinese tour group, or you'll have like the old retiree tour group, or you have like a gap year where everyone's young.
Right.
But we really we're confusing people.
Yeah, because it literally is like the United Nations. There's older people, younger people. We all look different. It's awesome though,
and it's cool that this thing, just all brings us together.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna post some photos of the group, some group shots in the show notes. So if you want to check it out, it's travellikeabosspodcast.com, show notes, episode 91. So not only will I have links to everything that we talk about in the show, to Anton's course if you want to sign up, but also some photos from this retreat, maybe some videos, so you can check them out. What did you think of all the afternoon activities so far?
Unbelievable. I didn't get a chance to go to the first afternoons to Raleigh Beach because I had left a medication at home and I had to go up to Krabi Town to go get it because I needed it. So I missed that. But yesterday's, going to the beach and traveling on the boat and just hanging out, it was great.
Yeah, so we just called the Four Islands tour, where they took us on this boat, drove us around, and we stopped to snorkel, we stopped to just chill on the beach. We had a barbecue on the beach, which was pretty good.
Oh, it was great.
We had like kebabs and like grilled fish.
Yeah.
And the sunset was so beautiful. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I put that on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out. It's Johnny FDK. But today we're gonna do a pool party and a lunch buffet by this pirate themed pool. So that's gonna be fun. We're gonna have dinner on a hilltop where you can see all around the island.
Oh, okay. That's
gonna be beautiful. Yeah. Did you go to that Italian restaurant the other night?
Yes.
Which order there?
Umberto's. I had a. That's funny. I had a cheese, but it was a blue cheese and something else kind of pizza. Probably one of the more stinkier kind of cheeses.
Okay.
I can't. Oh, the Montego or
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I can't remember, but it actually was very, very good.
Yeah, the pasta there looked surprisingly good. I really wanted to, because the first 4 pages were all pasta, and for the photos, they look like the best things in the world. And I've been on my strict paleo diet now for the last 3 or 4 weeks, just because I wanted to be able to fit into my board shorts for this this weekend. So I forced myself to get a salad and some lamb chops, but that ended up being pretty good as well.
Oh, so you're doing the paleo diet?
Yeah, I'm super into it right now.
Awesome. I got to do that.
You know what? I'm going to get you on it after the show.
Okay. All
right. I'm going to recommend you a 30-day challenge and a book to read. It's by this guy named Mark Stinson, and he does the Primal, I think it's called the Primal Blueprint, like 30-day challenge or something. And it's the easy, out of everything I've seen, it's the easiest thing to follow. It's the easiest, like, it doesn't get too technical. It just gets you in there. And when I woke up, when I was thinking about this trip, because I went to Koh Phangan last week and then this week Krabi, and they're both beach trips. I could not fit any of my board shorts, and I was gonna go buy new ones. That was just my plan. I was gonna go to the mall, and I started thinking, I was like, what am I doing? I have like 4 pairs that fit perfectly fine. One of them still has its tags on it. I was like, let me just get back in shape. And I think the reason why I got out of shape was I went to South Africa last Christmas, and I wanted to try the new food. Then I went to Taiwan with my parents, and I love all the food in Taiwan. And then I went somewhere else here, I don't remember. And I think I just continued. I was like, it's fine. I have a girlfriend. Like, it's not a big deal if I'm a little bit out of shape. But as soon as I think 2 or 3 weeks passed of me eating healthy and clean again, I just had so much more energy. I had so much more drive for life. I just felt better. My clothes fit better. And I looked at myself in the mirror, I think 2 days ago. I was just thinking, like, what am I doing? You know, like, why do I keep getting off the diet? Like, I know it works. I know it's possible. I know the benefits of it are so good. And like why do we do that to ourselves, you know? And it's this hard, it's almost like this stupid thing that we do when we know better.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to a few missteps with your diet and to get off track, at least for me. And I guess your genetics and everything plays a part in it too. But as soon as I start cleaning up my diet and stuff, my waist size goes down rapidly.
Yeah. So we're committing.
I'm taking you up on the challenge. I will do it.
We're shaking on that right
now.
Yep,
I'll shake right now.
You guys can check back in a month. We'll see how that goes. I'm confident though. I'm confident, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. So what I really like about you, one of the reasons why I want to have you on the show, is not only are you a listener, but you actually take action. What made you first sign up for? Yeah, like what made you take all this action? What made you sign up for Anton's course, and what made you end up doing the eBay course?
Okay, I'm going to take a step a little bit further back, and hopefully everybody will like this. To be honest with you, I was live in Phoenix, Arizona. We hadn't gotten to the hot part of the summer yet, and I was going on walks. Had a few health issues, and like I had mentioned it to Johnny earlier that I found his podcast, and I was listening to it, and honestly, and I mean this from the heart, Johnny's words kind of transformed my mind into thinking I do want to live location independent, and it was very inspirational. And for me, that's the difference. But I've always been the kind of person that once I commit to something, I'm 100% in. I'm not just going to do 100% effort. I'll do 150% effort, because at least if I don't make it, it won't be for a lack of not trying the hardest. It'll be maybe outside of my capability range. So, your podcast is awesome. I love the guests, and I think you do a great job with it. And then the DSL course is just unbelievable. But you have to execute. Ultimately in life, it's always about executing, having a plan, and then executing and finding the tools to overcome any problems that you're going to have.
Okay, very cool. So you signed up. So how long did you listen to the show before you signed up for Anton's course?
Let's see, you've got 89 podcasts, and I probably got through episode 36.
Okay.
Johnny FD podcast for us. That I've got to do this.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so how long ago was that?
That was in probably end of June, July.
Okay, so that wasn't that long ago. That was only 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you decide to also sign up for David Vu's course, the eBay course?
Because I think it's kind of in the same vein. I liked the way that David presented his course. I thought that it made sense, and I thought he was very transparent and open, as well as I think you're very very much the same way, and I think Anton is the same way too. That he's just like, okay, you guys are all here. It is. Here's the tools. Go out and do it. Come onto our forums if you have any questions, but otherwise you got to just go do it.
I like it. And so I think I think in that episode, if you guys haven't heard it, I'll put it in the show notes. It's one of the episodes that we did. How long ago was it? Like a month or two ago? Not even that long. When did you sign up for it?
It's been about 5-6 weeks.
Okay, yeah, so definitely wasn't that long. It was episode 82. It's called Dropshipping on eBay with David Dang Vu. So I'm assuming you listened to the podcast and then you're like, okay, this would be a good first step, and you signed up.
Yeah, and I'd already started building my dropship store, but I thought, I had some experience with eBay, and I thought that it would be, for me, a sweet spot. It would be easy to execute on that, and would be additional income. And I started it probably about 5-6 weeks ago, and I'm doing well.
Very cool. So I think the kind of the reason why I had him on the show was because first, I didn't really believe in dropshipping on eBay, because to me it doesn't really make sense like that somebody would buy a product off of you that you just buy from Walmart or from like Lowe's or Home Depot or something, and then there'd be profit in that. And I think so I asked him really hard questions on that podcast. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
And I think part of it is because I haven't met him in person, so I didn't really know his character before I had him on the show. I did a lot of due diligence. I reached out to a lot of his other students to make sure that he was legit. I checked the reviews to make sure they were real. And I had this, I just didn't hold anything back. I was just like, look, how the heck does this work? This isn't a viable business. And what I really liked about him was he's like, you're right. This isn't a viable long-term business, but people will buy your products because they're comfortable with eBay and they just end up buying from you. And he said, and he was really upfront about it. He's like, look, to be honest, Anton's course is gonna be better for long-term strategy, but this is easy. You don't have to set up a store. You can start making sales right away. And it's like, it's not gonna make you rich, but it's gonna give you that confidence and some income. So then you could do something else. And that's why I recommended it.
And that's been completely my experience. Made some money off of it. It's easy to do. Now, keep in mind though too is that some of your suppliers that you're going to be selling products through, they aren't all those suppliers aren't necessarily located in every state in the U.S. And so sometimes those products won't be available to all of the people in different locales. So if that's some people in British Columbia who can't get access to certain things, and so I think there's opportunities there. I don't think it's definitely a long-term strategy, but for making quick money, and I actually had a sale within about 40 hours.
Oh, cool. How did that feel when you got that first sale?
Oh, it was awesome. It always feels great, and the margin was good and stuff, and so you have to pick the right niche and stuff, but it was great.
Were you surprised that it worked, or that?
I kind of knew from my past experience that there are people that they just go to eBay. They will not shop around. They won't go anyplace else. And I kind of knew from the psychology end of that a lot of people think that way. And so I thought there would be opportunity there.
Yeah, it's the same thing. A lot of people just go straight to Amazon, even though you can get a better product or the same product somewhere else for cheaper. I think what it is those companies did such a good job in the beginning of having the lowest price that people just assume they have the lowest price. So I'm sorry if any of you guys exclusively bought on eBay, but 40% of the time now you're gonna be wrong. Where I bet you at the beginning, eBay was the cheapest place. But you just can't just get stuck and assume that forever. And now this is purely like price arbitrage. So what are your goals with your eBay store and then your dropshipping store?
I would say within, I want to be up to at least making $1,000 a month with the eBay store, and my long-term goals are to be really at $10,000 a month in a drop shipping store. But that may take me some time, and I have some things to learn. But I think it's definitely very, very possible and doable.
So what is the plan? Like, so for eBay store, for example, what are your next steps? How are you going to get to the $1,000 a month of profit?
I think you have to have some volume up there. So my short-term goal before the end of January is to have at least 500 products on eBay.
And how many do you have now?
I have 12.
Okay. So how are you going to get to that 500?
I'll be adding my bare minimum is at least 5 new products a day.
Okay. And is that pretty easy to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you ever plan on outsourcing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's a short-term goal. Long-term would be to get into the thousands of products range, and then to be, you have to go through and you'll have to be changing the stuff that doesn't sell, and keep flipping them over and finding out what works best. But you only at that rate you only need to have a few, 2-3 sales a day. If you're making making $100 a day in profit, not bad.
Yeah, I like it. Actually, so one of the reasons why I knew his system worked and selling on eBay worked is because for my dropshipping stores, I decided, I was like, well, what if I put some of my best-selling products on eBay just to see what happens? And I couldn't afford to do it for the same price because eBay takes so many fees. So I put it for more money on eBay than on my own stores. And what I did was, in all the photos, all of the descriptions, I had my store name in there, just hoping people would see that, go to my store, see it's cheaper, and buy it from my store. But I still made sales from eBay. Like, I still made I think I made like 10 sales from eBay that were like $1,000 each. So like 10 grand in eBay sales for products that are more expensive on eBay than if they just freaking typed in the URL and bought it from my store direct. It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to try to change everyone who shops on eBay because it's good for us, I guess. Yeah. But it kind of just shows the psychology of shoppers or buyers, right?
I think the more educated buyers are not with eBay. I think maybe it's an older crowd still.
I almost feel like it's the overeducated, stubborn people where they think that they know it all because they did do the research. I mean, to be fair, they did the research. They found eBay. They figured out how to use it, and now they're like, I know the secret. eBay's the best, and they just they get stuck in their ways, where they don't want to learn something new again, or they kind of refuse to believe that something else might be better.
Yeah, I definitely think humans are very prone to get stuck into habits.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So with your dropshipping store, what have you taken away from this weekend that you think you're gonna do that's gonna help you build up your store?
Oh gosh, well, I came in here just on going through like the Facebook marketing. I had everything I'd heard and read said Facebook marketing doesn't work, and then I saw the presentation on that, and I think it's how everything is how you do it, and so having those tools, and I think a lot of us are blinded because we don't know what the tools are, and we're kind of fishing around trying to figure it out. And there are experts or people that have figured it out and know how to can show you how to implement those tools. So I think I need to optimize. For me personally, I need to optimize my site. I need to just keep moving forward, and I have to get through some of my barriers on the building up the Shopify store.
My favorite presentation, the thing that I'm going to do immediately next week, is Michael gave a talk on optimizing your Google ads, your product listing ads. And he started it with, saying, don't you wish that you can have control over keywords and bids on your product listing ads? And he talked about all the benefits of it. And then in my mind, I was like, they don't allow you to have keywords on there. Like, how do I, like, why is he hyping all this up to get us excited when it's not possible? And then he showed us, he's like, look, you can backward engineer it, and this is how you do it. And I was blown freaking away.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I'm going to go and just destroy all my competitors with what I learned there. And what's so cool is every single one of the talks, like, nobody held back.
No.
Like, even though he has a a Google, like an advertising, I guess, management firm where he charges a lot of money to manage people's campaigns. He has big customers. He manages over $1 million, is it a month in ad spend?
Wow.
Well, maybe it's a year, but it's whatever it is, it's a lot. I think so his company that he owns manages like $1 million worth of ads for other people. So he charges a lot of money per hour. But what's cool is he basically taught us every single thing in that presentation.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And Anton hired him to redo the Google ad videos in the course. So that section used to be 15 minutes, which was enough because I've done 500,000 in sales now with those 15 minutes of info that Anton taught us. But now that same section is now 5 hours worth of content.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you can spend a lot of money being very inaccurate with that, and this is going to allow you to sharpen your tools and to dig further deep, down and get more sales.
Yeah, 100%. I think the coolest thing about it is even though Anton paid this guy a lot of money, you can imagine how much he paid him to teach this stuff, especially 5 hours of content. He's not charging the members any extra for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So all of us today, if you guys are already a member of the course, you can just log in and that module is there now. And that's what I think is so cool about the way Anton does things.
Yeah, definitely. You're getting a wide spectrum of knowledge and information that you just can't get that anywhere else really.
Yeah, and the thing is, he wouldn't even need to give that away for free. I almost feel like if he offered that as like an upsell, people would pay for it.
I think so.
So, but maybe that's just his strategy. I like it. I mean, it's good for me. It's good for us, I guess.
Good for everybody. Anybody who wants to learn this area, absolutely, because he doesn't have to do that.
But I think the way that he actually makes his money back from it is every 6 months or so he raises the price of the course, and every time people complain and they bitch, but it's always like, why didn't you sign up for it when it was cheaper?
Right.
Like if you go to antonmethod.com now and sign up, it's $1,000, and so it's not cheap. It's $997, or you do 3 payments, I think, of $297. But a few months from now, actually maybe I don't know exactly when he said he's gonna raise it, but he's gonna raise it again now that all this new content's up there.
Right.
I don't know what's gonna go up to, but let's say it's $1,500, people are going to complain saying, oh, it's so expensive now. I'm like, well, first there's 5 more hours of content from a guy he paid a lot of money to teach you this. But also, you probably heard about this, 2 months ago. Why didn't you sign up then?
Absolutely. Well, I look at it this way, and I paid less than $1,000. I had I think it was $700 and some dollars. I can tell you with 100% assurity that my courses at Arizona State University, some of them cost me, $2,000, and I didn't learn anything, and I don't remember any of it. And this is stuff that is going to completely change your life and give you the opportunity to actually make money, not just to have something that you read out of a book and you can quote from memory.
I think it's crazy that, just thinking about college again, I spent so much money on these courses that I didn't even want to take. I wasn't interested in the subjects, but just because I had to take a course, I was like, oh, I'll pick that one, I guess. Just so I can get a diploma, which I don't use.
Right.
It's insane.
Isn't it?
Like, imagine if instead of spending $20,000 a year on college, you took that same money and you're like, okay, let me pick and choose the courses I actually want to take, that I'm actually interested in, from people who are actually successful in what they're teaching, and not just someone who, that becomes their job because of whatever reason, they teach business even though they don't have a successful business, or maybe they never even had a successful business,
right?
Versus now you can learn from, for less money, even though it's still a lot of money. I think $1,000 is a lot for anyone, but if you compare it in that sense, instead of spending $7,000 to learn from someone who may have never done it in the first place, teaches you something that you don't care about and that you're not going to remember, versus investing that same amount of money and time into something you do care about from someone who knows what they're talking about. Actually, what really blew me away, and I actually didn't know this, is I assumed Anton had sold all of his stores and wasn't doing it anymore. But this weekend I found out he's still uploading products. Is
he really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that.
It's insane. And I asked him, I was like, why do you even do that still? And he's like, I love it. And I don't know, like, to me, that really kind of just shows that he really is passionate about this.
Absolutely, and I would relay that back to what you were just saying about taking classes in college from some professors, and then nothing against formalized education, but a lot of those professors, they don't really have the passion anymore for teaching, what they're teaching. They're just, they're getting a paycheck. You talk to Anton, or you talk to you, Johnny, or any of these other people. Their eyes light up. They love what they're doing, and they love teaching about it. And I think that's a very powerful message.
Yeah, I think. Oh, so it was Adam that shared the 4 reasons to get into. I think for his it was for affiliate marketing, but he said if you're just getting into it for the money, don't do it. If you're just doing it because something else, don't do it. And he said, but if you're doing it because it changed your life and you want to share it, that's a great way to do it. And I think that's a big reason why I do my podcast and I share everything I share. And then the 4th, which I never really thought about, which really, not only does it apply to me, but also it's almost like a moral must do if you're in this position. And it was, you are in a position where you can share it. Because there's a lot of people that, let's say you found something that really does change your life, but you don't have an audience. You don't have a voice. You can't speak out about it. But it's like, if you do, it's almost like a moral imperative for you to share that information.
Absolutely. And I think it also keeps you, even as if you're teaching someone else, keeps you engaged in the process and keeps you learning too, because you'll learn from your students and your students will learn from you. And it's an ongoing process that feeds itself. And I think that's at the end of your life, after you've done everything you wanted to do, you might remember all the money you make, but I think most people remember the lives that they changed along the way.
This weekend's been awesome for that.
Yeah.
Because, I would say most of you, you included, I've never met in person. And some of you never even, have you messaged me a lot?
I did a few times.
I honestly don't remember who messaged me because I get so many.
Right.
And because there's not like a face to it. It might be like a profile photo face, but there's not really a face to it. To me, it only takes me a few minutes usually to reply, and I do it because I know it helps people, so I do it. But I think to them, from their point of view, they're like, it's a bigger thing,
Absolutely. Well, you can't see yourself like other people see you. Mm-hmm. I think that's Freud.
Yeah.
But when you help someone else, it is a big deal to them because you are helping them with something that they are not sure that they can overcome on their own. And if you always remember that in life, no matter what station you're at in life or what you've accomplished, I think it's a pretty special thing. For me, anyway, I love people. I love working with people. And so when I've changed other people's lives through things I've done, it's been really special.
Yeah, and it's such an amazing feeling. Like this weekend, literally, I think a lot of people didn't actually come up to me right away. They kind of just, they were there this weekend, and then just randomly, like we'll be waiting in line for the ferry or for the taxi, and they'll just say like, "Hey Johnny, I just want to quickly thank you. You're the reason why I came out here," or "Hey, thanks. I ended up quitting my job and I'm living off my store full time now." And just these little things, like to me, I'm like, wow, really, like I'm the reason why you did that. That's cool.
kind of probably powerful and kind of scary at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Like me, but no, you and Anton and other people, anybody who you're casting a pebble into a pond, and those ripples are changing other people's lives. And so that should be a good feeling.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And that's why I'm so passionate about my new course, Earnest Affiliate, where I teach people how to do that. And I never really, I guess when I started, I didn't really know what the intention of the course was. I think I need to kind of rebrand the sales page of it, because in the beginning I was like, okay, people want to learn affiliate marketing, I'll teach them that. People need to learn how to build a website, I'll teach them that. People want to know how to find affiliate offers to promote, I'll teach them that. People want to know how to get traffic, I'll teach them that. But now after this weekend, I realized, it's not really about that. Maybe those are the steps inside that that's required to do it, but in reality what people really want is to have a way to build a brand, to get eyes or ears on your product, and then be able to recommend things that actually genuinely work, and be able to make a living from that. So then you can keep doing that, and you can grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you remember back on some of your earlier podcasts when you were talking about when you were working at a job you didn't like, and you had a boss that maybe you didn't like, and you're just going through the motions and just making money, and then you go to the weekend and you're just you're tired, you got to do all your laundry, get ready to do the whole week again. If you can remember that feeling, there's a lot of people out there that are going through that, and they're miserable and they're looking for a way out.
I try not to remember any of that. Honestly, I try to block all that out.
Sorry for pulling you to a dark place.
Actually, when I had to make my last visa run, I was so annoyed that I had to waste my time getting on this plane to go to another country for a day just to get a freaking visa and come back. Because normally what I do is I make a vacation out of it. I go there for a couple of weeks, try to do something new, go scuba diving, and then come back, and it's not a big deal. But this time, because I literally just needed 30 days before I go to South Africa, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just fly in, fly out. And that day reminded me of this, that we sometimes in life, especially with the job we don't like, we kind of have to do things just to do it.
Right.
So it kind of reminded me of commuting to a work, or even going on a business trip for work, where you don't even have time to sightsee. You're just like at a hotel, and dealing with, BS bureaucracy for no reason, filling out paperwork for no freaking reason. You're like, why am I filling this out?
Exactly.
And thank goodness I only have to do that once every few months versus having that be your job, every day.
For years.
Yeah.
It's just wearing you down.
And not having like an end goal. I think almost like if I had to, like right now, I don't like uploading products. I don't like doing some of the manual things, but I see the end goal of it is, okay, let me get this stuff up so then I can relax on the beach and have it be a new source of income.
Right.
That'll allow me to do other things I like.
Absolutely. And you have control over your process, your time, and your experiences in life.
I think that's the big part of it, right?
Absolutely.
So what made you not want to work? What were you doing before for work?
After I sold the business back, I had my cellular business back in the 2000s, I went into work in education. I was in admissions for a university, and basically sales. It's a for-profit university, and although I got paid very well, I really didn't like the management, and I felt like we weren't doing the best we could for the students. So that's basically it, and I just it really just kind of wore me down. As a matter of fact, I think that's probably what led to some health issues.
that stress from work, from having, a boss that you disagree with, doing something that you don't enjoy doing, like stress really is a killer.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that you left that job. And now you seem very happy. So,
I am.
And you seem very optimistic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I think once you're in that indecision mode in life where you don't know what you should do next, you don't like what you don't like, but you don't know what to do next to free yourself is torture.
Yep.
For a lot of us. But once you have an idea and you feel it's passionate, you're going to be passionate about it. Absolutely. Then you can just let loose and go for it. You have hope.
Yeah. And you know what? Like Obama said, right? Hope is everything.
Exactly.
But sometimes I forget that universities are for-profit businesses, and I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, and I won't mention the chain. They're very large. They're one of the largest ones in the U.S. But the way I would describe it is they are a business that makes money. And by the way, we also teach them classes. And so I didn't like that feeling, because when I have customers, and anything I've ever done in my life, I take care of my customers. Mm-hmm. I protect them. And I might even lose sales by saying, I don't know if this is the right product or service for you. Let me suggest something different. And for me, I've always have a very loyal following when I apply those values to my business.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. It really should be. Like, I think for university, this is my stance on it. If you know exactly what you want to do, and by going to university and majoring in that, that's going to help you get to what you want to do. So, for example, if you want to be an engineer and you go to a school that specializes in engineering and they have good teachers, do it. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
You'll have a great experience being at college, being away from school. You'll learn a skill that you want to learn, that is something you're interested in, and you'll be able to get a job in a field that you like. But if you're like me and you went to school just because you thought you had to, and you just picked whatever major that seemed the easiest, and you didn't care about any of the classes, you just signed up for it to get the credit, then don't waste your freaking time.
No. And my dad has his PhD. He's an engineer, but it was always very much stressed in my family to go to school, and so I was kind of the same way. I ended up in kind of business classes and political science, and but if I had to do it over again, I'd rather take that money, invest in DSL.
Yeah, honestly, or even just reading books.
Absolutely. You can self-learn. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the biggest benefit I got from going to college was just going away and living on my own, having my own responsibilities. But in retrospect, I could have done that without college.
Absolutely.
I think for most people, maybe they might feel like they might be lost if they go somewhere, and then it's just up to them to buy their own books and read it. Right. So maybe something like DSL University would be good.
Absolutely. Well, so much of the world is conformity oriented, and we have to do certain things in order to get where we want to go. And really, I think things are changing now, where being a nonconformist, a disruptor, is more valuable to you, to your person, personally speaking, and you can make more of an impact in the world. But you have to have enough belief in yourself that you can reach out and touch other people, and that people are willing to help you too.
And I think now, to me, that almost seems so logical. It just seems like, that is the way life is, and that's the way that life should be. But I think maybe when I was stuck in that bubble, thinking back, in the cubicle or even in school, and I just I didn't know what to do next. I wasn't happy. I couldn't see that.
Yeah. I worked in a huge building, and as the company started to lose money, you would see everybody's seats would get lower and lower in the cubicle, so the management couldn't see your head.
Wow.
Because everybody's afraid of being let go. So that's a pretty crazy thing.
Well, you know what? I'm glad none of us are doing that anymore.
Absolutely.
So, Mark, I'm really happy that you came on the show. I'm really happy that I got to meet you here at the retreat, as well as everyone else. So everyone else who's listening to this, I literally probably met 80 new people who I've never met before. There's some people who came to the retreat last year that I met, or some people I met in Chiang Mai and other places. But there's a lot of new people who either just started with the course, or didn't make it out to the retreat last year for whatever reason. And that was, to me, like, these are friendships I think that are gonna last a long time. Because these are people in the same path. Everybody's super open-minded. I don't think there's anyone here that's negative.
No, yeah, and I plan to move back to Chiang Mai, so maybe you guys will still be living here, and we'll.
Yeah, actually, how many other people said they're moving to Chiang Mai after this?
I've met quite a few.
I think there's at least 10 people.
Yeah,
they're like, okay, since we're in Asia, Thailand already, let's just move to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, no, I thank you so much for having me on, though, and I do really appreciate you what you've done, and because you've definitely made an impact in my life, and it's been great. I'm learning a lot of new things, and life is fun again.
Well, I appreciate that. It's been fun. If you guys want to join the community, Anton's course is antonmethod.com. That's my link, so I get credit for referring you. And as a kind of a thank you for using my link and giving me credit, I'll send you my Jumpstart course for free, which contains a bunch of videos on the places people get stuck the most, like niche selection or when to call suppliers, how to make your first sale and things like that. And I actually just promised someone that I'm going to add something else to it. I'm going to add a template on how to do my accounting. So I'm going to upload that on there as well, so you get that for free. If you want to sign up for David Vu's course, there's a link here in episode 91 of the podcast, or you can go on johnnyfd.com and search eBay dropshipping. And I'll have my link in there as well, so if you want to give me credit for referring you, appreciate that. Mark, really glad that you're making sales, making some money. Can't wait to hear from you in a few months and see where you're at.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you use any social media, Twitter or anything like that?
Twitter, Facebook, I think that's really about it.
Okay. How they find you on that?
Facebook might be the easiest. Mark Rubi, RUBI.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Appreciate all the people who have taken the time to leave reviews on iTunes. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, but if you're on an iPhone, you can actually just click in on the screen and you can leave a review from there. It really helps spread the word of the podcast. Tell your friends about it as well. And I'll see everyone next week. We got to go to a pool party now.
Yeah.
So put on your shorts. See you guys. Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.